Hi guys, welcome to my latest behind the scenes video. At this wedding I started just getting a couple of shots of the venue before I went into the bridal prep area. It's a glorious venue called Old Kent Barn and it's only about 20 minutes from my home, which is ideal for me. Starting off in the bridal prep room, I always like to watch out for people popping up champers and capturing that. With bridal prep, it's normally quite cluttered and things, so I typically stay on the 85 for like the majority of the time. I do have a 24, but sometimes it's just a little bit too wide, and yeah, depending on where they're getting ready. Obviously this venue's got a really nice room to get ready in, nice and large, which is brilliant, but sometimes people get ready in like, you know, small hotel rooms, and yeah, it's not really like good for photography necessarily. So obviously during bridal prep or groom prep or whatever you want to call it, it's not just about them, it's about the bridesmaids as well. Obviously you're going to want to give them nice flattering images. I love a hairspray shot. I'm always on the lookout for them. During this time I try and like chat a little bit. I don't want to chat too much, but I kind of want to like build a rapport and get to know everybody, so people open up to me later in the day and they'll be more comfortable with me, you know, capturing photos of them being emotional and crying instead of shying away. So here, while the girls getting ready, I'm walking around the venue as they've just set up the reception room, capturing some details with the 85. So the 85, it's good to isolate certain objects and things. So here, for example, I love the reflections there, and I love like the little jewels they've got and the flowers. So 85 does wonders. Getting lovely separation. Got a nice window light here, so instead of shooting glasses in the middle of the room, I came over here to the top table because it's got nice natural light coming in. .85 from the top table. So detail shots, I don't really spend that much time doing them. It depends how much time I have like spare during the day, to be honest. So I switched over to the 24 here for a nice wide shot of the room. Obviously it's good doing it now while there's no one else in frame, like guests if you leave it a bit too late, or like workers if you've arrived a bit too early. You don't want to leave bridal prep to do details when it's not ready. Always keep a lookout for other people arriving. Here's the groom arriving in style, and he's even got his little dog with him. So the dog's actually going to be the ring bearer today, so stay tuned. Okay, here the groom's arriving. I'm constantly taking photos. There's the groom's dad, there's the groom. So here's a cool little room for the groom to get ready in. Obviously he's already dressed and stuff, so just using this room to get a couple of snaps of him and the dog, putting the nice little harness on it. This is obviously with the 24, so it gives me that wide shot. The room, I mean, I could get it with a 50, but I really like the sofa and the colours in the background, the light, so I like the composition. The dog definitely reminds me of, you know, the Disney show Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, so here's the groom giving the dog a walk, and what they did, they just literally stood there and looks at me, and yeah, so I was like, oh, hold that a sec, guys, I'm gonna get a couple of shots of you. And the dog's so obedient, so good, so well behaved. It'll be rude not to. I advertise myself as like an unposed kind of photographer, you know, shooting most of the day candid. So this is technically candid, as I didn't tell them, you know, what to do. Not that I could tell a dog what to do, but you know. So the first couple of shots were with a 24, and that's me switching to the 85, getting a bit tighter. I'm constantly shooting as well, so when the groom looked down at his dog, I felt like that's a cool shot. And here the dog just jumps up at me. Anyway, right, back to the bridal prep room. Here is the gorgeous bride getting ready. She's just popped into her dress. constantly shooting, gorgeous light. Obviously I like capturing, especially when the mum like puts shoes on, always got to capture that. It's surprisingly hard to get good photos of people wearing hats, so always be on the lookout for a good moment to actually take a photo. It depends what way people are facing. Luckily she's actually facing the side of her face is towards the window light, which creates nice fountain light. Details of wedding dresses are really important, so if you have time, obviously here I'm just playing around, so I thought, oh yeah, a couple of detail shots. There's a little prism I hold in front of my lens occasionally, just create that nice flare. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Here's me just, you know, testing it out. Okay, and then I run out of GoPro footage for this part, so yeah, just documenting the bridesmaids finishing the bride off. I don't really shoot black and white that much, but sometimes the image is cool for black and white. Here's the bride's father entering the room, seeing his daughter for the first time. Obviously it's a very important moment to capture. If you know it's happening, if you know he's on his way, or whoever else it is, you want to make sure that the bride's at the other end of the room so you can capture that nicely. It's nice to not have bridesmaids shy away from photos. Not that they tend to, but you know, sometimes you point a camera at someone and they kind of freeze up a little bit, but yeah, good vibes today. Look at them blues in the sky of the GoPro footage. They're absolutely crazy. So here, outdoor ceremony area. We've got open sun. It's not too powerful though. There's a little bit of cloud, so it's casting like really nice soft light over everyone. If this was an issue, if it was like really full-blown sun, luckily the bride and groom were getting married underneath that wooden canopy or wooden gazebo, so it wouldn't be too much of a problem for them. Here I just literally rotate around. I really love shooting outside, so outside it gives you the freedom to, you know, shoot where you want and when you want, because if you're not really making any noise. Obviously if you're indoors it's harder to do because you don't really want to affect anything. So here I'm just waiting for the bridal party to arrive, get a couple of shots with the 24. Sorry if this makes anyone a bit dizzy. Okay, bridal party starts arriving. On the 85 for this. So if I'm on a longer lens, I don't have to rely on, you know, a good moment to happen, just in case they get all the way down to the aisle, which would be perfect for the 24, but then they might not be looking at the camera necessarily, or might have had enough, you know, of smiling. Okay, so I always like to, obviously I'll get landscape photos first, and then if the moment if the moment like continues, like if there's enough time, and I'll quickly switch over to portrait mode, just switch the camera over, just because of I don't really do it enough, I don't think, and yeah, I want to obviously improve, and with Instagram and things like that, like portrait orientation photos are well in demand, and we as photographers, we didn't really like people cropping our work, so yeah. Here's the bride and her father walking down the aisle. Gorgeous smiles, looking all happy. Classic phone in the way shot. I've got the shot, it doesn't really matter. Like sometimes people say, can you not take photos during the ceremony? We have an official photographer. But I mean, you know, I'm not there to moan, I'm there to capture the day. If someone wants to get a photo of their like friend or family, then so be it, that's cool. Okay, so here I am actually underneath the wooden gazebo, getting a couple of detail shots of the hands and of the registrar celebrant. Registrar or celebrant, I'm not actually sure what to call the officiants. Maybe officiant. Okay, so I get a couple of photos, but then I kind of feel like I'm intruding a little bit, so I walk out the side, and that gives me a nice room to roam around and catch them smiles. Here, a little boy just starts running off, so I thought that was funny, him getting tackled by a man. Okay, here I am constantly shooting, so I normally take, I mean, for this wedding I took about 8,500 images, and you know they're going to get 10% of that, but I mean, if you shoot it enough, then you're going to capture those moments. You'd never want to miss a moment. So here a dog is coming along with its little bag on its collar for the rings. And here I'm constantly shooting, obviously, so people smiling in the crowd. In the crowd, I mean, you know, the guests and stuff. Always watching out for them smiles. First kiss. Now, first kiss is obviously really important, and yeah, you don't want to miss the first kiss. I did actually speak to the official beforehand and asked where she would be standing for the first kiss, and she was like, well, where would you like me to stand? And I just said, you know, if you could move to one side, that would be perfect, because I already had it framed in my mind that I was going to shoot from the back. Sometimes I'll shoot from the other side, but no worries there. Okay, with the formal signing of the register photos, I kind of make it like a laugh, like I'll just shoot how they are naturally, and then I might just get them to smile at me or just look at each other. It's a photo no one really wants, but people are just expected to have. Okay, confetti. So everyone was told, you know, you can go for it with the confetti, throw it up instead of at them directly, but you know, I normally shoot to high speed continuous for this, so I capture about 10, I think it's 10 or 12 photos a second, so I can take the best of the bunch. Those blues in the sky, man. Hero 8 for you. Real talk though, the GoPro Hero 8 is incredible. Okay, so here they are collecting their celebratory drinks. And you're upside down, sorry about that. That's when they're walking towards me. And then now obviously all their guests start coming out the ceremony area and start greeting them for the first time as a married couple. So here it's good to capture everyone smiling and being happy. And you know, I always think, like, what photos am I going to deliver? I always think that the ones which survive the cull are the ones people are going to want to share on their social media, to print, to have as their Facebook profile or their Tinder profiles, or you know, things like that. After all, this is one day of their lives where everyone they care about will, like, hopefully be there, and yeah, like, it's not going to come again. So I really do try and get like a great photo of everyone at their wedding, as hard as it is, you know, due to some people who, you know, sit down quite a lot and things like that. But okay, so now after this we go inside for drinks. That's where the bar is, obviously, so people started it in there and then spilled outside. Take this opportunity to get good candidates of guests, get good candidates of people who actually want a photo. So if you see someone taking a photo, I'll be like, oh, do you want me to take a photo? And we spill outside for some group photos. Group photos, I try and make it as informal as possible. Please subscribe to my channel, and I shall see you for part 2 of this wedding.